What's going on, everybody? It's another beautiful day for some skate hacks, and today we are going over Nollie Tre Flips, Nollie 360 flips, whatever you want to call them. A Nollie Tre Flip is very similar in many ways to a regular Tre Flip, but there are certain things about a Nollie Tre Flip that are easier than a regular Tre Flip. Now, this may surprise some people because, of course, it's Nollie, so you would think things that are Nollie would be more difficult than things that are in the regular stance. But for a few reasons, a Nollie Tre Flip can actually be a little bit easier than a regular Tre Flip, or a fakie Tre Flip may be easier than a regular Tre Flip. And this is for the main reason that when you do a Nollie 3 shove or a fakie 3 shove, it's usually a lot easier to get the spin going, because when you do a regular 3 shove, you have to really get that scoop going and make sure that you scoop it in front of you. Seems to be a problem for a lot of people who are first trying out 3 shoves and Tre Flips. They get ahead of the board and they don't put enough power into the scoop, so they end up landing ahead of the board too much. And so this is not a problem with the Nollie Tre Flips or the fakie Tre Flips or the Nollie 3 shoves, the fakie 3 shoves. It's actually quite easy to get that 360 rotation going. So as you can see here, I'm doing a Nollie 3 shove. Whether I pop it or whether I don't pop it, I do it the lazy way, it's really easy to get that 360 shove motion. So you should know how to Nollie 3 shove before you get into a Nollie Tre, because the motion is going to be very, very similar. The only difference is with your back foot, you're going to do the kick flip. So you should be familiar with Nollie flips and Nollie 3 shoves, and of course you're going to combine the two. And it sounds difficult, like I said, but that 360 shove it motion is actually really easy to carry out if you're not familiar with it. Try a few Nollie 3 shoves. The motion is going to be the same. The only difference is, of course, the back foot. So you're going to set up like you would for a Tre Flip. Of course, it's just going to be the opposite feet instead, and you're going to put your front foot on the very tip of the nose. If you want a good pop on a Nollie Tre Flip, like I said before with my regular Tre Flip, if you've seen my tutorials on how to Tre Flip, you would know that I talk about putting the back foot on the tip of the tail so you can get the best pop. Well, the same thing goes here for the Nollie Tre. You want to put the front foot on the tip of the nose so you can get the best Nollie pop possible on the Nollie Tre Flip, because one of the biggest issues with Nollie Tre Flips is not getting a solid pop. And you're gonna have to excuse me for that one, because as you can see on some of these here, you may not be able to hear the pop. You can definitely see the nose hitting the ground, but it's harder to get that nice solid crispy pop on a Nollie Tre Flip, because it's so easy, like I said, to just give it that shove it motion, and it's really easy to flip. So the only difference here between a Nollie 3 shove and a Nollie Tre is that the back foot on the Nollie Tre is going to get that kick flip motion, so you're going to flip out, and this can be a little difficult at first, but you want to get that Nollie kick flip stance going, that with the back foot. You can put your feet closer together if you're uncomfortable with the Nollie Tre. I feel like this helps when you're not comfortable with the stance of a Nollie Tre at first and you want to get more comfortable. If you put your feet closer together, this can give you a lot more leverage. It'll allow you to pop a lot easier, and you have, like, when you have your 2 feet close together, that's really your central power force, and you just kind of flick out from that power source, and it's a lot more you get a lot more powerful flick that way. So if you're uncomfortable with the Nollie Tres and you're not that good at the flick yet, it helps to put your feet closer together. As you get more comfortable with it, you can put your feet further apart, but yeah, it does help to put your feet closer together. So like I said, you want to get that Nollie 3 shove motion going. It's really easy to get going. So what I would tell you to focus on is the pop here. You actually don't need too much of a 3 shove. You don't need to force your feet into the 3 shove super hard. You don't have to put a lot of pressure into that 3 shove. It's really easy to get the 3 shove going because the momentum is going off the nose, like I said before. The momentum's going off the nose instead of the tail. So when you're going off the tail and you're trying to do like a 3 shove or a Tre Flip, it's going to be harder to get that scoop going. When you're doing it off the nose on a fakie or a Nollie Tre, it's going to be a lot easier, because the 3 shove motion is just going to be easier that way, because you're rolling in the direction and the momentum is going from the back truck and it's just spinning and it's landing in front of you. So it's a lot easier to get that going. So my tips for a Nollie Tre are to focus more on the pop, because the 3-shove motion is really easy on a Nollie Tre. And also the kickflip motion is just something you have to get used to. But other than that, focus on the pop, and you don't need a super hard flick either. Especially if you're putting your back foot pretty far off there and you have your feet kind of close together, it's going to be really easy to get that flick going. So again, I'm going to refer really quickly to my regular tray flip tutorial. So if you watch my other tray flip tutorial, I'll talk about a phenomenon with the way that the board is leaning. So you'll see the back truck here. The board is leaning towards the inside wheel, and it's almost touching it, like giving it wheel bite. And so I mentioned in my previous tutorial that this helps you get leverage, because the board's leaning in that direction, and when you pop, it's going to give you a lot more leverage to work with your front foot, because the grip tape on that side is practically meeting up with your front foot. Like the grip tape's, when the board's leaning in that direction, the grip tape's coming up to meet the suede of your shoe, the material of your shoe, and it makes it a lot easier to get that tray flip going, because the grip tape's coming up to meet the shoe, and it gives you a faster flick. This accounts for a lot of the flick. This is what really helps you flick, and a lot of people don't really think about this, but when you slow down tray flips, anyone's tray flip, you'll see that little phenomenon. You'll see the board almost touch the wheel before you flick, and this is what really helps with the kick flip. So some of the main issues you may come across with a Nollie Tre Flip are, again, not popping, and you really have to focus on the pop here. If you want to get a good solid pop, like I said, keep your front foot, keep it on the tip of the nose, and make sure you just really smack that down, and you worry about smacking it down vertically instead of getting a really hard 3-shove, because like I said, you don't need to put a lot of pressure into the 3-shove part of it. Another issue is over flipping. Definitely over flipping. When it comes to the 3-shove, if you overdo the 3-shove, you'll probably land kind of sideways and you'll stop rolling or whatever. You don't need to put that much pressure into the 3-shove, like I said. Another thing is the kickflip portion of it. If you overflip the kickflip, now you don't need to put too much pressure into the Nollie kickflip here. Like I said, it's really easy to get that pressure if your board's leaning in that direction that I talked about. So overall, this is a pretty easy trick. It looks pretty difficult, it sounds difficult, but it's actually pretty easy. So just try to get your Nollie 3-shoves down, your Nollie kickflips down, and once you have those down, this trick is actually a lot easier than it looks. So those are my tips on Nollie Tres. Comment down below your future suggestions for skate hacks videos, any tricks, any tips in skateboarding. Once again, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.